Direct from the Six, world-renowned, Canada's largest city, with Canada's biggest thinkers, visionaries, and hustlers. This is Startup Talk, featuring the founders, funders, innovators, and community leaders who've led Canada's startup ecosystem right here in Toronto. You'll hear the challenges, the failures, the successes. Toronto's Startup Podcast gives you the full story direct from the entrepreneurs and influencers who've made a difference. Now, the host of Startup Talk, the founder of TorontoStarts, the Startup Coach.
In the age of AI and automation, where do you think human salespeople add the most value, and how can business owners leverage this balance effectively?
Yeah, well, I think I gave the story example of that market-leading AI software, right? So again, I think you can automate a lot of what is tedious, right? So your call prep, extracting your call data into your CRM, your follow-up emails, your sequences. But I do think in the age of AI, still how you sell, should be your strategic advantage, right? Assuming everyone else has all the data, they have all the knowledge, right? It's that how you sell. And I gave that specific example as well too. So I would say use AI to be able to automate, a lot of what is tedious. But then that's a great opportunity for you to show your selling skills when you're actually presenting to that person virtually or meeting them in person as well too. So I think, that how you sell should be a free sample of how you solve.
And people in the end buy from people.
That's the end of the day, yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, it's great if you have these AI tools, but who's am I going to call? Who's talking to me at the other end? Do I like this person, or do they understand my business? Those are the types of things that people are looking at. And do I trust them?
Yeah, I went to a startup pitch event a while ago, and there actually was a company that their product was, you could choose if you wanted a demo with a person or a demo with an AI. And they were developing a product with an AI. And the very first question AI asked was, how are you doing today? Where are you located? Tell me about your business. Which are like the three things you don't want to say as a sales rep. You want to know where they're located.
Yeah.
Right? You want to know, we have some facts about their business. So again, I still believe people buy from people, and that is going to be even more important in this age of AI.
Yeah. And so since we're talking about AI, I might as well ask, because people have been bugging me about inbound and outbound voice agents, and where do you feel they're going to be fitting into some of this from a sales enablement process?
Yeah, it's interesting. So a company I was previously with, one of the executives I was talking to, they were at a board meeting with the VC investors that funded the company. And she was obviously, these board members and VCs have investments in all these outbound, automated SDR functions, right? And she was saying it was kind of very, very hot topic that none of these investments have really added any value. So I don't know a whole bunch about the subject, but again, I think kind of that automation around that outbound, I could see for email sequencing, right? But I think in terms of actually cold outbounding or replicating human voice, I think we're still quite early days. So again, I still believe that people buy from people. And, really, use AI to automate what is challenging. But again, I think that communication when you're talking to someone, should be through a human.
I agree 100%. And I think if you're going to get AI involved, at least from a voice point of view, make it clear. The things I would think of, and this is what I'm thinking about automating, is I'm at an event, I meet a bunch of people, either I take a picture or whatever, I connect with them. I will have that automatically picked up by my agent. It'll go out, do a little research, and then call the person and say, hey, I am Craig's AI assistant. I'd love to book a follow-up meeting with you, blah, 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 blah. You're not actually trying to sell. And people will be like, okay, cool. Especially when, I deal with automation and whatnot. So it's kind of that's interesting, versus I'm here to sell you, your features. You just take away that tedious task where I'm automatically following up with these people I met with an email, with a phone call, with a request for a meeting, so that I don't personally have to do every little bit of that.
Yeah, well, again, they've met you first, right? They know who you are. You're not just a random Craig who they met at a conference.
But that's one of the things I find people are saying, follow up. But when you go to a networking event, follow up is what people don't do. And these are kinds of tools you can say, all right, let's do our best to automate that or put that into a spreadsheet or do something where it's so much easier for the people to follow up with the people you met now versus, you're sifting through all these cards and what conversation did I have with this person? So there's things you can do that actually help the person and let the salesperson do the sales and be the human in the equation.
Yeah.
Any last words? And then where can people go to find out more, follow you and all you do?
I think we've covered a lot, Craig. And yeah, people can find me on LinkedIn. I certainly live there a lot these days. So please feel free to reach out. Happy to chat sales, enablement, go-to-market, scaling. I'm very interested in the space.
And those links will be in the podcast show notes or on YouTube a little later today. So when you're watching that, if you want to find Graham, just check the podcast show notes and you'll be able to find that link. Thank you very much for taking the time today. It was really insightful.
Thanks, Craig.
This has been Startup Talk, Toronto's startup podcast. For more exclusive content, the episode vault, and to be part of TorontoStarts community, visit TorontoStarts.com. Get your name on the newsletter mailing list and check out our upcoming events. For more episodes, subscribe now. And please recognize the time and work behind the scenes put into connecting you with the biggest visionaries, entrepreneurs, and innovators in Toronto by leaving a 5-star review. Join us for more next episode from Toronto's most active entrepreneur and startup community on Startup Talk.